How many of us highlight or underline the standout parts of our books to easily revisit them? In this audio series, I'm going to share the most compelling and important highlights from the most compelling and important books from my library for newcomers to them and for those who don't have the time or opportunity to read them. This is going to be from what I consider to be the best big picture book on science overall, which is The Big Picture by Sean Carroll. This is going to be on consciousness or thinking, and this begins page 321. Daniel Kahneman, a psychologist who won the Nobel Prize in economics for his work on decision making, has popularized dividing how we think into two modes of thought, dubbed System 1 and System 2. System 1 includes all the various modules churning away below the surface of our conscious awareness. It is automatic, fast, intuitive thinking. System 2 is our conscious, slow, rational mode of thinking. It demands attention. We shouldn't let the intimidating sophistication of the final product trick us into thinking that consciousness couldn't have come about via numerous small steps. What we call a thought corresponds directly and unmistakably to the motion of certain charged particles inside my head. That's an amazing, humbling fact about how the universe works. Argument that perhaps the brain is like a radio receiver. Altering it or damaging it will change how it plays, but that doesn't mean that the original signal is being created inside the radio itself. But that idea doesn't really hold up. Damaging a radio might hurt our reception, making it hard to pick up our favorite station, but it doesn't turn the station from heavy metal music into a smooth jazz format. Damaging the brain, on the other hand, can change who a person is at a fundamental level. The story of Phineas Gage in the 19th century. But there are many other examples of people suffering from some sort of brain damage and having their emotional states or personalities dramatically altered thereby. That doesn't prove beyond any possible doubt that the mind is nothing more than the way of talking about what happens in the physical brain, but it should work to lower our credence in old-fashioned Cartesian dualism to a very small value indeed. When it comes to the hard problem of consciousness, we're pre-Newton, pre-Kepler. We're still sussing out that there are moons around Jupiter. But nothing we do know about consciousness should lead us to doubt that ordinary naturalist conception of the world that has been so exceptionally successful in other contexts. As of right now, nothing about the mind-body problem should persuade us that the laws of physics need updating, amending, or augmenting. In the experiment about Mary and color, a person named Mary, who has some particular knowledge, all of the physical facts about color, does she gain new knowledge when she steps out of the room of black and white and experiences color for the first time? Is this an argument that there is more to the universe than its physical aspects? Surely not. We have merely introduced an artificial distinction between two kinds of collections of synaptic connections, one induced by reading literature and doing scientific experiments in black and white, and one's induced by stimulating the visual cortex by seeing red photons. The interesting task is to show how our intuition has led us astray, as science keeps reminding us it so often does. Individual atoms don't have experiences, but macroscopic agglomerations of them might very well, without invoking any additional ingredients. If consciousness were something over and above the physical properties of matter, there would be a puzzle. What was it doing for all those billions of years before life came along? Some things just come into being as the universe evolves and entropy and complexity grow. Galaxies, planets, organisms, consciousness. Consciousness is confusing, and quantum mechanics is confusing, so maybe they're somehow related. But the fact that observers happen to be conscious plays precisely zero role. Measurements can be easily carried out by nematodes, video cameras, or rocks. The possibility that consciousness plays a role in underlying quantum mechanics has lost almost all of whatever support it may have once had. These days, we understand quantum mechanics a lot better than the pioneers did. We have very specific and quantitative theories that can plausibly explain exactly what happens during the process of measurement without any need to invoke consciousness. Quantum mechanics may be mysterious, but it is still, in all of its suggested formulations, an ordinary physical theory governed by impersonal laws expressed in the forms of equations in the language of mathematics. In particular, even in interpretations where wave functions really do collapse when systems are observed, the person doing the observing has no influence whatsoever on what the measurement outcome turns out to be. Nothing spooky, nothing personal, nothing intrinsically human, just physics. Maintaining quantum coherence inside the brain would seem to be analogous to building a house of cards outside during a hurricane. Nevertheless, recent discoveries in biology have indicated that living organisms do seem to take advantage of certain quantum effects that go beyond what classical physics could do. Photosynthesis, in particular, involves transfer of energy by particles and quantum superposition. There's no reason to accept libertarian freedom as part of the real world. There is no direct evidence for it, and it violates everything we know about the laws of nature. In order for libertarian freedom to exist, it would have to be possible for human beings to overcome the laws of physics just by thinking. Okay, so that's the end of this section, ending on page 381. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.